go to our next question. It comes from Oliver James Damian.
Darren and Katie,
hey.
Would you be willing to share with us how you were able to live through your experiences of mental distress and how that lived experience shaped your subsequent work?
Wow, thank you for asking that question. Would you like to go first? Or?
Up to you.
Okay.
I'm happy to chat, yep.
Well, I'm very open about the fact that I live with major depressive disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder, so for a couple of reasons. I'll try to keep it brief. I grew up in a family with a violent alcoholic father, so he was physically abusive to my mother and to us as children. So I'm 50 now and I still go to therapy every week because of the results of that. I also inherited and proudly live with, but a depressive disorder that comes mostly from my mother's side of the family, and 2 people in my immediate family have committed suicide. So I am very lucky that I was born in a country with an amazing healthcare system. I unfortunately live in a country at the moment with an atrocious healthcare system. And I am just always advocating about this country and how incredibly lucky we are to have access to this. But I really survive and am here today because of access to therapy and medication. I describe my mental health condition as kind of like a superpower. It allows me to see a spectrum of colours that I don't think everyone gets to see. I think that sometimes the emotions that I feel allow me to soar to great heights and dive to great depths that help me in my artistry.
And the question also mentioned how it affects your work. Your current single is called Poison Blood.
Poison Blood, yeah.
And it's about exactly that. It's about what runs through the blood. Yeah.
Yes, and I say in that song, I say it's a blessing, a gift and a curse, but every day is a decision to stay with my poison blood.
Yeah.
And I know that was something that concerned you deeply during the pandemic for you, but also for friends of yours who are really struggling during that time.
Yeah, honestly, look, when the pandemic started, I was just waiting for the suicides to begin.
Why?
Because we just went to nothing, and our entire, well, economically, of course, but also just, anyway.
Connection.
Yeah, I was very, very worried, and I'm amazed, actually, at how resilient we have been.
Did you and others have to be very vigilant about each other?
Absolutely, yeah. But in answer to your question, basically music has been my best friend since I was 2. And I was lucky enough to grow up in a family that appreciated music and the importance of it in everyday life. My dad's a journo, former ABC journo. My mum's an opera singer. So I grew up in a house that valued these things. The problem that I think we're facing at the moment, and this comes back to what I said before, is that music and arts education is not valued in this country. Only 25% of state schools have a qualified music teacher. Every single school has a PE teacher. I'm guessing, I would guess. So we have these 2 cultures that are integral to making a well-rounded human. And there is a plethora of research that says that music education and arts education increases numeracy, literacy, all of the things. So we know all this, but we've just never had the policy to implement it in Australia. And it is so depressing for me that 75% of state school educated kids don't have music to help them through their lives. If I didn't have music as a teenager, I'm not sure if I'd still be here. Like, honestly, like it's actually has helped me so much, and music has helped. So that's sort of my pet dream, is that we do finally have some cultural advocacy at a national level that prioritises quality music education. And the thing is, every child has an instrument, their voice. Everyone that can talk can sing. Kids aren't singing together, they're looking at screens, you know, like, for example, where I live, I'm a mum of 2 boys and I live on Gubbi Gubbi country. The state school where our kids went to school, the music department was a joke and not prioritised at all, but they had beautiful sports fields and a great soccer thing and a basketball thing, and I love those cultures as well. But it was dire, so I ended up starting my own music school. Hello, your Monday School of Rockers, getting ready for our gig soon, because I just thought, and we've given free scholarships to over 150 kids, and the great thing is you get grammar kids and you get single mum kids, Steiner kids, the whole spectrum. But in the moment, they have music to help them. And without it, seeing them bloom as young humans, It's just amazing.